Good evening, y'all. Good day, y'all. I recently took this book out from the library and quite enjoyed it. Read through most of it and mostly enjoyed the art and tried to understand the process of the folks that made all this great work. And I gotta say, it is mesmerizing stuff. I am blown away by what you can do with colored pencil. I am a not imitation, pale comparison to these people. So without further ado, this is stuff I found interesting and the best of colored pencil for. So here we have this first image. It's a wonderful composition. It is called Not Everything is Black and White by Anne Kuhlberg. And I think we see the clear symbology here, but look at the lighting on all of these oranges and the shading. I mean, it looks like a photograph. This is phenomenal. Very well done. You see the kind of glazed over look in the eye and maybe the little Mason M, and yes, the oranges, black and white duality. But I have to say, it's a mesmerizing composition, and it clearly took a lot of effort to do this. So I applaud you, Anne, for making this happen. Let's read what she has to say about it. Since I make my living as a portrait artist, I rarely get to do art that is just for me. But at least once a year, I stop work to play in order to create a piece for the CPSA International Exhibition. Not Everything is Black and White is one such piece. I chose this girl as she seemed to be in that transitional nowhere land, no longer a child, not yet a woman, that age of mercurial changes in mood and heart. I strongly believe that life is shades of gray and try not to see things as black and white, right or wrong, good or bad. The girl, neither child nor adult, captures the ambiguity of life. It is a statement to all of those who continue to put everything in just two boxes. So, yes, I think that it has that angle as well, but I think that it's very telling that she chose oranges and not another fruit to put in here. So, good piece, Anne. I see the symbology. This is fantastic. Okay, here we go. This piece is by Richard Huck, still in conflict too. And look, you can see this is a deflated balloon type plane, and the whole background is all the little explosion in the back is just a paper being barely held up um, by tape, and then these houses are all just slipshod. And here we have the indicative angle behind this. It's clowns. It's all a joke. It's a big show. And what does Richard have to say about his piece? It's not the techniques that I employ that set my artwork apart. There are many skilled artists working in the same vein. It is the individual's philosophies and ideas that separate us. My studio contains numerous objects collected over the years that often act as catalysts for deeper thought. I construct environments for some of these objects and work directly from them to create stills, while I use objects, such as toys, symbolically to get my ideas across. Giving an explanation to this symbolism can disrupt the viewer's interaction with the work and destroy a connection that was attained. In many cases, the title will assist in this connection. And yes, we're still in conflict with clowns. You have the five pointed star, everything is here. This is a great image. If you're looking to wake people up on the war is fake aspect of our lives, this is one that you can look to. Thanks, Richard Huck, for conveying this in your art, but maybe you didn't want to talk about this out loud. Here's another fantastic one. This one's called Orangutans at Phoenix Zoo by Ruth Perkins. And look, what hand sign is is the orangutan putting up? What's that right there? Right here? The little. Let's see if I can zoom in better. What's that? You don't think they did that for a reason? It's the little subtle nod to what is really going on here. And look at the glove-like hands, and we know Perkins states this person didn't actually leave their own take on it. They just made it. Maybe they did in the next. Sorry, my bad. They did. They did. Here, let's see what Ruth has to say. I don't remember a time when I wasn't an artist. My father was an artist who frequently encouraged me to draw and paint when I was growing up. I'm motivated by form and color and enjoy the challenges in producing rep. Oh, they repeated themselves. In producing representational artwork. My zoo series stems from my love of animals and concern over environmental factors. Well, we know that's a big hoax, and you put the 666 the 666 hand sign in there, so it's just a joke. Responsible for the loss of animals in their habitat. obviously the way our world works, there's a lot of that going on, but it's not these animals. These aren't even real animals. This is clown world. These are clown world animals. These are orangutans. I want to get images of these magnificent creatures in front of the general public to increase their awareness of this problem. Well, Ruth, as beautiful as this image is, and clearly took you a long, long time, this is propaganda. So, must be said. Now, this one really struck me. This is called Last Day by Margaret J. Ogan. And in this picture, she has her grandmother, right? Grandfather. Look at the hand sign front and center. Look at the skull. Look at the low attached ears. It's a man. It's an old man, right? And to the last day, she's holding her triad claw. Last Day is a portrait of my grandmother, says Margaret J. Ogan, Ethel McLaughlin, who died at the age of 86. An astoundingly strong willed, independent woman, she lived her life on her own terms and faced her death the same way. I was in awe of her incredible dignity as she increasingly became at the mercy of those of us who took care of her. It was this strength and dignity that I hoped people would see in this old face, with the clear blue eyes facing directly out toward the light. I think Grandma would like this rendition. I bet she would. But she would say she looks too old and she never was too fond of that hat. Fair enough, but it's I find it so interesting that in your lasting image of someone you love so dearly that you're going to throw the gang sign. It just shows you being not a woman, not a man, like the Prince quote, something you can't understand is the most important is such an important aspect of these people's lives, and it shouldn't be important at all. What should be important is being a good, faithful person, who's humble and wants to do good. So I'm not going to talk shade about Ethel here, but I just find it pretty comical that even on somebody's last day, they are going to throw gang signs. Okay, this one's fantastic. I implore you to use it. It's called Bill D. Francis Trio on the Hill. Bill D. Francis is who made it, and it's called Trio on the Hill. So here we have Bill Clinton playing the saxophone and two jesters right by him. So again, hinting at the clown-like nature of our reality. Please do not vote. Everything is a big joke. They burn the votes. They laugh at you. This is a commentary on my recent reactions to today's politics. When this scene, says Bill, when this scene appeared on the television in my room, the papier-mâché clowns that actually sit on top of the set and the blueprint of the White House on the wall seemed to become part of the act. This strong impression led me to express my conception of government. And boy, do I love it, Bill. I felt it was necessary to incorporate an event that actually took place rather than distort reality with other interpretation. There were concerns about possibly offending some people, but I was satisfied that I also have my rights of expression. And yes, if you want to make art about truth and do this kind of stuff and convey clown world and all it is, and get people to not waste their mind and their energy on voting, please do it. And this is a fantastic image that Bill made. It looks so hyper realistic. How did he do it with a colored pencil? These people are phenomenal, and I'm so thankful that they made this work. Thank you, Bill, for helping us out, and thank you for making a beautiful work. I think this is a fantastic image that says all you need to see about politics. No matter who's in office, no matter how crazy they may act, no matter what they may say, at the end of the day, it's a big joke, and if you believe in it, joke's on you. This one, I didn't get a great shot. My camera, if I have it less than 2.0 zoom, it gets a little shoddy, so I didn't get the good shot here, but just I wanted to show you the beauty of this, how this looks like real. This is look at the eyes, and it's glistening. I mean, the glossiness of the eyes. To achieve that with colored pencil is no small feat. So I'm very, I'm just astounded at the quality here, and I have a lot of work to do in my own artwork to attain such beauty. There's so much beauty and interesting stuff out there. Keep focusing on what's important to you and keep making beautiful things, because maybe one day you'll be able to make a wonderful frog like this one here. And I'm sorry I'm not crediting the artist. I didn't get a good picture of this one. And then another one I didn't get a great picture of are these horseshoe crabs. And again, just mesmerizing quality. Looks way better in person. Let's see who made this one. This is, let's see, Nancy Galrin. And it's called Love at the Seashore. So I worked in pen and ink for about 30 years. I was always frustrated by the harshness of the medium. Colored pencils opened a new world of expression and finally allowed me to capture the the selfness. Sorry, the I can't read it. The softness. Sorry, the softness and subtlety that had eluded me. In Love of the Seashore, there was a variety of textures, from rocks and sand to foam and reflections, to allow for a combination of techniques I wanted to express. Sorry, I wanted to express the feeling of light and translucency, and to convey my belief that there is beauty in everything, even to horseshoe crabs doing what comes naturally. Horseshoe crabs have always fascinated me. Apparently, they have blue blood. They're mesmerizing creatures. They always were evocative and kind of this imprint of the ancient world, but knowing what we know about dinosaurs and whatnot, I suppose they've been here forever, and they're always something to be studied and appreciated. They're just such interesting creatures. I'm mesmerized by them, and they're undoubtedly the inspiration for the Pokemon Kabutops or Kabuto. Sorry, not that that's important, but it's just they they bring so many questions. They look so distinguished from other crabs. So there's so much beauty and interest in God's creation. This is one of my favorite pictures I've ever seen in my life. This is called Song of Nature, and I think it speaks for itself here. It's just glorious. All the leaves are music notes, and the main trunk has a great great opening in the center, which is a guitar. It's a guitar body there, and it reflects the heart of the tree being a guitar, and how when you do have a guitar like I do, an acoustic guitar, it was a tree at some point. So giving it all you have with the guitar and appreciating the instrument is really integral, because that tree gave its life for your enjoyment, your sound. So let's read what Mike Russell who made this fantastic painting, has to say about it. Let's see what he has to say. Have you ever let your mind wander past the corridor of reality? Oh yeah, out through the open window to fantasy. This is the landscape in which often find myself, desperately trying to regain a minuscule part of that other world. You know the one. At least you used to. Once as children, we would pretend. We were read fairy tales, and we believed. This world has grown up around me. This world that has grown up around me smothers out those childhood abilities. The sense of something missing or askew prompts me, even beckons me, to look back to open the windows of my mind. If I can pry open the shutters that entrap another, my endeavors are well worth it. And this I could not have put it better than this man put it. This exudes so much joy, and you even have the time signatures at the base of the tree, reflective of the suckers of the tree. The suckers are beautiful things. As a gardener myself, you often have to trim the suckers off, but obviously in nature they're let to grow wild, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Um, if you're tending to a tree yourself, you can train it in any direction you want. But I find this to be vivid and amazing, and so evocative of the wondrous, musical, fantastical imagination that we have within us. So please check this out in person, or look for it and see if you can get a better image of it, because I'm just in awe of this beauty and amazed that this is all colored pencil and not painted. And thank you so much, Mike, for making this. And then perhaps again, right up there with this one in the fantasy realm, and just where I like to live, in terms of you know taking God's nature and then making something fantastical with it, with another element that's out there in the world, that may be human derived or person derived. This is by Kay Sineground, and it's called Sugar Bowl. So she writes, many of my ideas are born and refined while out jogging. In the case of Sugar Bowl, it was the middle of November, and I needed ideas for a holiday greeting card project. For some time, I wanted to incorporate my mother's old coffee service in my work. As I jogged along that morning, images began to form of the opalescent silver trim of the ceramic set. Thoughts of what if came to play. What if the sugar bowl spilled? What if the sugar was actually snow? Childhood memories of snowy days made it made their way into the work, and I felt pure joy while creating it. And this is what it brings to me. I remember sledding all the time when I was a child in the winter, and making snowmen and hanging out with little friends and being out there all day, and it felt timeless there in the hum of winter, where the sun is hiding behind the clouds and you're in this pure white wonderland. And I think she did such an amazing job of having the snow come out of the sugar bowl and come out to you in this amazing piece here. And isn't it wonderful that you can find this fantasy within the mundane, this sugar bowl tipped over, and then now it's this amazing winter wonderland that it was evocative of childhood and hanging out with your friends and going sledding and the innocent days of youth, and how we can always recapture those and see them in our own children and the children around us, and allow ourselves to go there instead of thinking that life has to be a certain way. So I hope you guys are doing well. I've had an amazing time with this book, and it's definitely inspired me to make great artwork. I have a lot of good pieces coming out soon, and I'll make sure to share them with you. But God bless y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon.